Right, we've been focusing a lot on MTDR procedures. What about other processes, Nadia?
Well, maybe I can give you an example of a blended process. So a process which, a procedure rather, if you like, which has created something different out of some traditional ADR processes. What I'd like to talk about is SEAM, SEAM, which stands for Senior Executive Appraisal Mediation. And I think it's based on the mini trial idea, which is a procedure that's used, I think, a fair bit in the US. But I think the term mini trial emphasizes the, I guess, adversarial aspect too much, and I much prefer the term seam. Also because the metaphor of a seam, in clothing, is that you're stitching two pieces of fabrics together and stitching together a solution. So senior executive appraisal mediation looks like this. You'll usually use it with medium to large size organizations. You have two organizations who are in dispute. They go to make summary submissions, like a mini trial, I guess, to a panel of people, right? And the panel consists of senior executives of both organizations. Right? So let's just say you've got organization A and organization B. They go and make mini submissions. They'll have some written submissions, and they'll say, okay, these can be no more than X number of pages, say 50 pages or 10 pages, and the submissions can be no longer than half an hour or 1 hour, and there'll be a certain amount of time for questions, etc. So all of that is organized and streamlined, right? And it's an abbreviated version. So the presentations are made to the panel of senior executives of both organizations. Those executives then ask questions of both sides. They're answered, and then the people making those submissions get to go home, right? The I guess mini trial part is over. Then what happens is that the senior executives sit around the table with the help of a mediator, and based on those submissions that have been made and based on anything else that is in their heads and anything else that they know, which should be a lot because they're the senior executives, they then try to negotiate an outcome with the help of a mediator. So it's not separate tiers, right? I mean, I guess there's the mini trial piece and then there's the mediation piece, but together it makes something quite different. Because if you think about it, the people making the submissions are representing this particular dispute. When the senior executives are sitting around the table negotiating with the help of a mediator, they've just got not just this dispute in their heads. There might be other disputes. They're thinking about the long-term relationship between both organizations, how important that is. How important is this dispute compared to other deals we've got going down? What's our strategic vision for the next 5 years or the next 10 years within the industry? What about other players in the industry? How is their standing towards us and what's going on in this dispute impacting, right, on this matter? So you're dealing, the negotiation, if you like, with a mediator becomes a very different type of negotiation. And so at the end of the day, it's a mediation, but it starts off with an adversarial type of format.